Hi! Welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I'm your host, Geoffrey Card, and over here next to me is supposed to be my co-host, but Brant hasn't shown up, and I don't know why. But we do have a guest. This is Rabbitt.
Hello, hello.
Rabbitt with 2 T's and an underscore. You got to remember how to spell his name, so you can go check out his Twitch channel. He is one of our favorite streamers of State of Decay 2 and other stuff as well, and it's great to have you on the stream.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
This empty chair belongs to Brent Fitzgerald. We have left it open, Passover style, for him, so he can come join us later on if he wants to. But what we're really going to be doing is playing the game. So, despite the fact that I worked on this game, I am not actually the best player of it. I'm betting that Rabbitt is a better player of State of Decay 2 than I am. So this is kind of a brand new community, and I'm curious, like, what's your starting point? What is the first thing that you go after when you're starting a brand new community in State of Decay 2?
It would probably be first off just making sure I've got fuel, and then setting up the first outpost.
So okay, so fuel-wise, let's see here. So we've got 16 fuel, and we've got 1 medical outpost, and that's about it. We've got an empty spot that we need to fill. So what kind of outpost do you think we should get? A fuel outpost or something else?
Normally what I do is have a look and see what the community is using the most.
Oh,
you can check in your map what's being used the most.
Yeah, okay, so of my resources, we're eating 4 food a day, we're using 2 meds a day, and for both of those we only have an income of 1. We're not using anything else yet because we've barely built up anything. So I guess what we probably need, actually let me quickly look at our inventory. So we are very low on materials, so we can't expand the base very much. And but we're also eating food faster than we can get it in. So maybe, do we want to try to find a food outpost?
Yeah, I'd probably do a food outpost for now until you can move to a bigger base and set up some farms.
Well, there's actually a food place really close to where we are, so let's head down that way.
Cool.
So for folks, normally I try to put all of my attention into. Oh yeah, why did I get in the car? It's right here. So for folks in the chat who are just joining us, normally Brant is sitting in this chair playing the game, and I'm just completely. Oh, there's a zombie. And I'm just completely focused on trying to keep up with the chat. Right now, I'm going to be the worst at keeping up with the chat because I'm trying to claim this outpost and do all this other stuff. Oh, I don't have enough influence yet. So we should probably just go out and get in some trouble.
Sounds good.
Try to earn some influence. Let's see. Oh, looks like there's a... Okay, there's a place where you get some materials, and it's got some kind of mission. Let's see here. What mission is it? Whoa. Oh, it's the rare skills trader, survivor activity. Okay, yeah, let's. Oh, are you keeping the zombies off me while I'm looking at my map? that is why it's so good to play multiplayer. Okay, so there is some kind of survivor activity out here. I might need to. Oh, loader. I might need to beef up my ranks. I've only got 4 people, and next week, our guest is going to be Daisy Willoughby. Oh wait, did I just pass it? Be careful. Our guest is going to be Daisy Willoughby. Last time she was on the stream, where did we? Oh, it's right there. I messed it up. Last time she was on the stream, she killed 3 of my characters, and so we're gonna have to prepare for her arrival. Good move on that bloater. We got a couple coming this way. Oh, I'm the worst. Okay. That's fine. Why waste bullets, right? When you can just hit people to death with pipes. Seriously? That felt like it hit. Oh. Doesn't help that this guy is very inexperienced with firearms. And it takes him 9 years to reload. Okay, I swear I'm better at the game than this usually. Rabbitt's doing 100% of the work. We got some plague samples. Okay, let's go talk to Tova. Tova's in here. Tova, where are you? Oh, hey, there's Tova. Oh, look, somebody in this chat was actually asking about green army uniforms. Looks like she's got at least some green camo on. Seems pretty cool. Hey, come here, Tova. The residents killed my friend, and they have to pay. I can't take them down myself, but with you on my side, I can get some vengeance. Will you help? Yeah, let's go murder some folks. Let's also raid this place for supplies. Looks like there's a lot of blue boxes for you and a lot of yellow boxes for me.
Cool. Got some meds.
So, remotely, let's see here. No, Career Buzzard asks, is the rare skills trader only on the weekend? I'm pretty sure that the rare skills trader and the rare weekend trader are different. You should be able to get the rare skills trader any day of the week. It's just the rare weekend trader who is special. Okay, so I assume she's coming along with us. Oh, she's found another zombie to kill. Let's put that one out of his misery. Clearly had problems. I'm trying to remember what they call the Titans in Attack on Titan that behave weirdly, like aberrations or something like that. Sometimes we see a zombie.
Absolutely no idea.
So sometimes I see a zombie that sort of feels like it fits into that category. How far away are these people? Oh, holy crap! They're like all the way across the world. Do I even have enough gas for that? I probably do. Well,
there's another can in the back as well.
Oh, okay. Good. You already checked?
I did, yeah.
Brand is usually the one who plays this community, so I completely lose track of what it's got, what's going on. So Career Buzzard points out that I might have a weekend trader on my map right now, despite it being Tuesday. I'm not sure if that's a weekend trader or if that's one of the other traders. It does show up in 3 different locations initially, which makes me think it might be the weekend trader. But it's also possible that trader showed up. Like maybe I might have started up this game over the weekend briefly, got the trader, and then started it again. I think maybe that's a possibility. No, when you come back to the game, it redoes all the missions. So I'm not sure why I've got it. If that is the rare weekend trader and it's a Tuesday, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I can't account for it. That guy was not part of my. That was not one of my responsibilities making that guy. So I don't really know how it works. Oh! Hold on a second. I forgot. James McMillan made this map, which means it is filled with ramps. Yes. All right, so, Rabbitt, am I being an idiot driving this far?
No, definitely not. I don't think so, anyway.
It's making me nervous, but I guess if we got fuel in the back, we're probably fine.
Because you need more people, with these survivor activity missions, you've got a chance of someone joining you.
Yeah, that's true. You know, 'cause so far, this particular community... Actually, no, we did actually resolve. We actually did Legacy, our last version of this community. So this really is a new one. This isn't just a new map for us. This is a brand new community. I was about to say that, oh yeah, it's been through a lot, but no, it hasn't. So tell me a little bit. So Brant watches your channel all the time, Rabbitt, but I actually have fallen behind on keeping up with the community, and I have not been watching it. Can you tell us a little bit about your channel, like what you play, when you play, what you do?
Well, I usually stream 6 days a week. I've had a bit of a break recently, so tonight is actually my first night back on Twitch.
Oh, cool.
For a few weeks.
I do that sometimes too. I try to stream in my spare time, but I don't have a lot of spare time. It's really hard to really make that fit into a lot of lifestyles.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, usually I stream anything to do with zombies. State of Decay used to be my only game. When I first started streaming on Twitch, State of Decay 1 was all I streamed. But now I've kind of drifted into 7 Days to Die. I did do a little bit of Warframe. And I do horror games on a Wednesday.
So like just any horror game, just like you try a bunch of different ones?
Yeah. Usually it's whatever the community want me to play. If they want me to play horror games, I'm really bad with horror games, really bad. I'm such a wimp when it comes to computer games. Horror films, real life, all that kind of stuff. I'm a pretty calm person. for some reason, stick a controller or a keyboard in my hand, and I'm a wimp. Massive wimp.
I am the same way about like horror movies, especially, even more so than games. Like I can usually handle horror games better than movies. If I'm in a movie and I have no control and I don't know what's going to happen, I am just a complete disaster. My wife and I keep hearing from our friends that what is it? The Haunting of Hill House, or the Hill House of the something with haunting houses and hills. There's a show on Netflix. It's supposed to be really good, and we've tried to watch it like twice, and I literally I can't even stomach a couple moments of it without freaking out. So I don't know why I work on a game that's all about like horror and zombies jumping at you and everything, because I am completely susceptible to that kind of thing. You'd think I'd be more of a pro.
See, I'm completely the opposite. For some reason, it's computer games with me. As soon as I'm actually in control of that person, that's when I seem to jump the most.
Then suddenly it's about you instead of being about some fictional person you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is weird. Yeah, for me, like it's like when it's me, it's almost like I care less. It's strange. except you know what? There was one experience I had fairly recently. If you look back at if you go to our YouTube channel, it's the Undead Labs YouTube channel. There you can go back to October. We did a special Halloween stream where I played Resident Evil in VR. And I was just freaking out the whole time. And we had a couple of guys next to me who were like tickling my ear and stuff like that when bad things were happening.
Yeah, I will never play horror games in VR. Yeah, never do it. No chance.
It was a horrifying experience. It was.
I bet. Yeah.
Awesome Twitch dude wanted to know where they can find my personal channel. So I'll warn you, I don't stream all that much. I try to stream on my lunch breaks for about an hour, noon Pacific time, and a lot of the time, like work always has to take precedence when I'm doing that sort of thing. Oh, I'm supposed to talk to Tova about joining my community. Hey, where is she? Hey, Tova.
In the back.
Hey, Tova, you want to join our community? Yeah, here we go. Let's take her home. All right, anyway. So
definitely not Ouchie. Although it is one of the games I'm playing at the moment.
Oh, what did you say? Sorry.
I was talking to Ouchie. He said in chat, no Five Nights at Freddy's in VR then.
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible.
Definitely not.
No. My kids actually, like there was a trend for, why am I going this direction? There was a trend for young children to get into Five Nights at Freddy's, and my kids got into it, but I don't know how much of it they actually played because they were completely, like, psychologically scarred by that game. One of them still plays FNAF World, which is the Five Nights at Freddy's, like, weird tactical RPG that they made, like, where it looks nothing like Five Nights at Freddy's. It's like cartoony versions of the characters doing, like, bouncy combat animations, and it's really bizarre. But yeah, totally into that game. Anyway, Awesome Twitch Dude wanted to know where my channel is. My channel is Derangatang, which is really hard to spell and was poorly chosen as a name. I wasn't actually expecting to be streaming at the time. I made it when I was just going to be viewing other people's streams of State of Decay. But then I actually ended up started streaming on it, and now I have to spell it for people. It's like if you misspelled the word orangutan and spelled it rangatang, and then stuck a D-E at the beginning. Like, you're starting to type the word deranged, and then you forget what you're typing, and you type rangatang instead. It's the dumbest thing. But if you follow me on Twitter, @rangatang, I link my streams and my videos and stuff all the time, so you can find it there, too. So, if you just figure out how to spell rangatang, you're good. So, now, can you actually drive through this with this giant truck? Okay, yes we can. Cool. Okay, so we've got a new community member. That's good. We've got some materials. That's good, so I can maybe build a garden, which will help. And then how are we... So we keep getting tiny amounts of influence. How much influence do we have now? Looks like 233. We need 300 to get a food outpost. So we can probably build a garden, keep murdering zombies. We can get influence to eventually get a food outpost. And so... Rabbitt, do you have a favorite map?
Yeah, it's Meager Valley.
Meager Valley.
Yeah.
That one wins all the polls. It's my favorite too.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all of the maps, and I've got specific reasons why I love each of the maps. But yeah, that is the one I hear the most often. What is it about that you like in particular?
It's the fact that you can drive. I've only found one spot where you've got more chance of getting your car stuck, but you can pretty much drive from one end to the other. No
without
problems.
hitting a rock or a wall.
Yeah.
Big battery. Yeah, that sense of freedom is people play open world games a lot specifically for that sense of freedom, and so the more of that you can give to people, the more they feel like they're getting what they really came for.
Yeah, definitely.
So okay, looks like there's a plague heart near our home. I think if we let's just hold on. Let's oh, I thought I could hit him. It used to be pretty easy to hit ferals in reverse.
They seem to be a lot smarter now since.
They're about to rip out. No. Oh, well, we got to get out and fight them. We got to get out and fight them. Oh, take that, feral. No, get up. Get off, Rabbitt. No, you're not allowed to kill my guest. he is putting his character at risk nobly to help us on our stream. There we go. Got it. Look, I finally did something useful, everybody. So, Barry Esteen says that he likes Drucker better because of the strip mall. So if you've got a favorite base, sometimes that'll tell you what your favorite map is.
Without doubt, the strip mall's my favorite base. I just don't like the map. So Ouchie Zero Kids, I think is the name there, asked if we're ever going to have a snow map. That is something we've talked about. I wouldn't get your hopes up for State of Decay 2 having a snow map, mostly just because that's a lot of new art to create this late in the game's life cycle. Because that's not just a few props that you'd have to make. You'd have to, every single aspect of the map would need to look different. If you were gonna do snow. Where is the driveway? Oh, it's a little further on. Oh, look, it's Brant. Hey, Brant.
I am so sorry.
Nice of you to join us, buddy. I just made fun of you constantly the entire time you were gone. Here, let's first thing we got to do. Oh yeah, in order to hear Rabbitt, you got to have the headphones on. Let's empty out our inventory.
Let me start by saying, Rabbitt, I am totally in love with you.
Thank you very much, Brent.
I apologize for being late. I had a doctor's appointment that went horrifically wrong. So
are you alive?
Okay.
It's debatable.
Are you going to continue to be alive?
This is debatable, but I'm here for the game. So let's switch it back from communist controls.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta no longer invert.
Great to see you, my friend.
So you, good to see you.
We were thinking, fine. What we were thinking of doing was maybe gearing up to go after a plague heart. We have just barely enough influence now to take a food outpost. So we were gonna build a garden in the base, take a food outpost, and maybe go after a plague heart. So that's what we talked about. However, you're in charge now, so you can do whatever.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to read the chat.
I will. Where were we gonna dump the crapper to build a garden?
Wait, I thought. Oh, where did we get a crapper? Oh, you know what?
I built that last time.
I was remembering my game at home where I still have an open spot there. Don't worry. You don't have to dump the crapper if you don't want to.
No, because I prefer to have a place to poop.
Well, you know what? If you put a garden there, you still got a place to poop.
Gross.
Absolutely.
I'm not eating those carrots. Or wait, all we have is corn in our garden.
Yeah. So that feels like the circle of life, right? Okay, so.
All right. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to start catching up with some of the questions we missed that Wonder has been lobbing our way.
Rabbitt, I'm going to get some gear, and then we can go out, and I'm going to switch players, too, because this guy is terminally tired.
Sounds good.
So, Awesome Twitch, this is a question that Brant might be able to answer. Asks, can you tell us more about the hidden airplane model in the game files? It's blue with no wings.
Yes, I can tell you about that.
Please.
Originally, when we did what Microsoft, when you're starting up a game and you're proving to your publisher, because we weren't a part of Microsoft at that point, you're proving to your publisher that you remember how to make games, and they call it a vertical slice, and it lets everybody over at the publisher get a feel for the game and what you intend it to feel and look, feel, and play like in its final iteration, so that you get continual buy-in from the execs and more support and things like that, to rapidly achieve a look that looked finished at a point in our process where nothing was finished. We purchased assets from a 3D source, an outsource, not outsourced, but just models that were out there.
They're just available online.
Yeah, like they use them in TV programs and stuff like that all the time. So we bought a couple models, and then sometimes the purchase agreements the use agreements on those don't sit well with your publisher's legal department.
Okay.
Like just because of the wording of their use policies can sometimes leave an opening for legal action against, let's say we sold 11 million copies and we're $1 billion company. All of a sudden, the people who, anybody who has a chance at suing you will come out of the woodwork to sue you. So we went through and found all those models that were under those use agreements that they may have been fine, but there's some wording that some people didn't like. So we just found those models and took them out.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
But once we have a model in our registry, it's almost impossible to remove that model, that data, without
like some cascading failure
a larger
across the
potential to corrupt other things. So it's easier to leave the data in there and just not ever expose it to players.
Oh, interesting. Wow, so that was actually way more of an answer than I could have gotten from practically anyone else. So thank you, Brad. Okay, let's see if the next one is something that I can answer so you can play the game. Oh, hey, we're switching to a different character.
Yeah, because
her nap is over.
The character you gave me was dead tired and hurt really bad.
Well, we did sort of fight a feral right before you came up.
But that's why Rabbitt's here.
I was terrified we were going to get Rabbitt killed and I was going to be just full of guilt.
You're supposed to be our meat shield.
Yeah, we did recruit somebody new because we know that next week our guest is going to be Daisy. And we wanted to make sure, we're doing another episode of State of Decay next week.
State of serial killer Daisy.
Yeah.
I think she still holds the record for most players.
Yeah, three on-screen deaths in one
session.
It was great. It was awesome. So Hansel Adola wants Rabbitt to tell him what his favorite gun is to use in the game.
It would be a pistol if they had bigger clips. I just like the feel of the pistols, but the clips are too small.
That's actually that's one thing that I like. There's something about having less gun than you could have that makes you feel like more of a hero.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I always like that about, say, Jack Bauer. It's like everybody else in the scene in 24 always had like assault rifles or something, but he only ever had a pistol. He would just run around and just take out everybody. It was great.
All right, so let's go fulfill your dream of finding a
food outpost?
A food outpost.
There might be one with a yellow triangle on it right next door.
Well, that's boring.
Yeah, that's kind of how that was my reaction when I realized how close it was to home.
No, let's go down to the
do whatever you want.
To the swine and bovine down here. I mean, it may still be blood plagued, so we've got that going for us.
So Hansel Lodolo asks, when you all finally add the new DLC, will there be new music to the game as well? I can't verify you that for absolute certain, but I know that our audio team is doing something. I would not be surprised if there was some new music.
Maybe this food outpost is going to work out for us.
We're almost out of fuel. I'm not sure if you can see the top corner. On the screen that I'm looking at, that you've got, it's hidden by the camera.
See it up there.
Yeah, you're nearly out of fuel.
Okay, well we can.
There's gas in the back.
There's gas in the trunk, though. Yeah.
There's gas in the back.
And yeah, by trunk I mean bed. There's gas in the bed, or whatever you call it.
In the boot.
The boot. In the boot.
In the boot. Yeah.
I don't know if you call it a boot when it's a pickup truck though, or is it only for things that we call trunks?
Hi, folks.
It'd still be a boot. At least to me, anyway. It'd still be a boot. Anything at the back.
Stuff in it?
Yeah. Anything you can put stuff in at the back of the vehicle.
That was one thing that really surprised me. Was I had an English friend who he called American money quid, and that was weird to me because I do not call English money bucks. And so the fact he was calling our money quid was weirding me out. But it's like just the boundaries are just a little bit different. It's not like there's a one-to-one correspondence between an English word and an American word. It's just sometimes they've got different fuzzy edges, you know?
Twitch is slowly Americanizing me.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
Have we, since I missed the beginning, have we talked about...
I think you should talk about what you love about Rabbitt Stream. Because
okay.
I did ask him to sort of give us a rundown of it, but I think you could probably give it a rundown that doesn't have his English humility.
Rabbitt, have you spoken of the embarrassing love I have for your dancing that you do?
I haven't yet. No. I'm trying to be on my best behavior. I don't know if you've noticed.
We can't do it without the music, and we don't have the music.
Oh, okay.
But he does this ridiculously attractive saxophone dance. What is it when you get bits? Is that when people donate to the show?
It's when I get a certain amount of gift subs, basically.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure I would love to just sub and then quit and resub and quit. To watch him do this dance is like ridiculously awesome. And
Well,
I think that one of your streams you were getting them like every 30 seconds.
That first night you saw it, I think I must have had about 35 subs that night.
Were you
just to make me do it?
You got the brand bump?
Yeah, I was indeed.
Because he was like shaking his hips more than like Elvis Presley did on a good night.
A lot more than I'm used to.
It was a sight to see. I am terrible at fighting this guy.
Okay, so I'm hearing some reports that our voices are a little bit faint, so I'm trying to raise the mix of our voices into this and seeing if that makes a difference. Let us know if I made it any better, if it's the same, if you don't care and it was fine before. Okay, sometimes there's a weird thing about in OBS. Sometimes I feel like just touching a dial makes it much better, even if I don't change it that much. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's like the curves on those things must be kind of strange. Let's see here. So Blaze Experience wants to know, Rabbitt, if you have a favorite base that you recommend to folks.
It would definitely be the strip mall.
Okay, yeah. So because there are other folks in the chat who are saying that even though Drucker's not the most common favorite map, that's still just a really that's a really good base.
Definitely, yeah.
I know that Blaze likes to complain about the dojo in there, the training gym or whatever it's called. Because once you've got a really elite team of characters, they're not using that thing anymore. And it's just taking up space, which goes back to somebody else's question earlier about why we can't remove built-in stuff, built-in facilities. But that's just, you got to take the good with the bad. That's like State of Decay is all about taking the good with the bad. Let's see here. So Awesome Twitch Dude wants to know, can we add a way to earn prestige outside of Daybreak? Theoretically, that's possible. I mean, technically, nothing stops us from it, except just that when people who spent money on Daybreak, like, we really want them to get a benefit from it that feels really tangible. There's something you can sink your teeth into that they got by investing in that DLC. And if we undercut that too much, then I think that they might feel a little bit like, well, why did we give you this money if you've given all this stuff away to everybody? And so it's very delicate when it comes to connections to real world money, what you can actually do without feeling like you're ruining the value proposition that you made up front. So, but we have kept that in mind though, like depending on whether it's with State of Decay 2 or some future part of the franchise, we do like in theory the idea of having like a currency like prestige that could span multiple expansions or be used in a lot of different ways. We haven't had the right opportunity to do that yet. It would have to be something more than just putting, you know, access to prestige in the regular game. It would have to be more special than that. But yeah, if we found the right opportunity, I'm sure nothing would stop us from doing it.
Nah. All right. Okay.
Let's see here.
So let's see. We have a food outpost.
Mm-hmm.
We killed the plague heart.
Game's over. We won. It is so. In about 10 minutes, we're gonna do a giveaway. We got these State of Decay pins we're gonna give out. So hopefully you guys have been paying attention, because we're gonna have a quick trivia question. Pretty easy trivia question, and then we're gonna give it away to random folks who get the answer. Let's see here. Start monitoring the. I've been trying to catch up with old questions, but I can start monitoring the chat live now.
Oh, we gotta go to the gun shop.
Oh, obviously I have to go to the gun shop.
That's my first stop.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we haven't already been. Oh, John T. the Fool asks, no jacket drawing this time? So the jacket is very rare. We only have a handful of them. And so we're kind of saving them for special occasions. I think...
And Rabbitt is certainly not a special occasion.
Well, it's more like... I'm sorry, Rabbitt. More like
I'm
things
definitely
like, we're
special,
releasing a new
but,
DLC, here's a jacket. It's sort of the kind of thing we'd be talking about. So sometime in the near future, I'm sure we'll have opportunities to do bigger giveaways around like, you know, marketing beats, if you'll allow me to use some jargon.
The store, the company that made, oh my goodness, this
Whoa,
is
you had
look
a lot
at
of
the
thingies.
Windfall. I need to do something with all this stuff.
You got your pockets are too full.
They are. I'm gonna go outside
And throw up.
All right, so.
Oh, actually, you can probably gas up the car while you're out here.
I did.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah.
Oh, those are new gas cans?
Those are new gas cans.
Oh, okay, I wasn't paying attention. I don't pay attention to things. That's my job, is to sit here and not pay attention to things.
Perfect.
Steve069 wants to know, KFC or Burger King? I'm from the South, so I'd say the fried chicken. Fried chicken is going to be my thing. I don't know. Do you have both of those where you're from, Rabbitt?
We do, yeah.
Man, American stuff just spreads everywhere, doesn't it? We're like some kind of plague or zombie outbreak or something. Just Americans, freaking Americans everywhere.
I thought it was interesting when I was in England or London. I guess London specifically. This is a long time ago. Burger King had something called the spicy bean burger.
What?
Which I've never seen
Explain
anywhere else.
yourself.
I think it was like the vegetarian option.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. Actually, when I went to, I worked in India for a few weeks at a time when I was working on mobile games, and they had chicken tikka Subway sandwiches and chicken tikka pizza.
See, that sounds delicious.
It was amazing. Yeah, at the thing, and Subway was cool because Subway was divided in half. It had like the veg side and the meat side, and like no meat ever touched the veg side. Because the vegetarians are extremely serious about it.
That's how
in
it's
India.
supposed to be, apparently.
Yeah. So you had to like choose in advance what you wanted on your sandwich before you even chose what queue to get in. So
what do we want to do? Let's go take care of some of these morale.
Oh,
killers
infestations,
here.
yeah.
I need to empty some loot as well.
Okay, I'll take us back to
home.
Yeah, I'll run us back home.
Rabbitt just
Cool.
tackles that guy off the car. Career Buzzard wants to know, what melee weapon is Rabbitt using? Oh, we've got a broken melee weapon too. We should probably swap that out.
Rabbitt's using the fancy bat.
Oh, is it
the apocalypse bat?
Oh, nice. Here. Yeah, Glass Babies points out if you get in the veg line, you don't get any meat slime, and that is true.
There's always a concern. Meat slime is always a concern.
Oh yeah, Kermit meme says soon zombie deer will be the new ferals. I almost made a game about zombie deer. Like an entire game that was all about zombie deer.
That would have been brilliant.
It would have been cool. Yeah, we ended up canceling that in favor of making Deer Hunter, was it 2014 or something like that? I think it was Deer Hunter 2014. Made that instead. But we were talking about doing the zombie deer apocalypse, and that would have been pretty cool. You'd have like a base, and you'd be sitting there with your hunting rifle on your phone, you know, trying to shoot the zombie deer as they're attacking you. But never happened.
That brings up an interesting question. For an herbivore, does it
suddenly craving meat, or does
it just want your vegetables?
It just comes to you. That would be hilarious. An army of zombie deer, like a horde, comes into your base, eat all of the plants everywhere, and then run away again. And they just do not care about any of the humans. Though since humans are omnivores, I mean, imagine that the zombies should be eating other humans and animals, but also yogurt and peanuts and whatever.
They'll just completely pass up a perfectly good steak. They'll be
Yeah.
like, oh no.
Yeah, just
I don't do that.
Scarf Proof says they couldn't shoot a zombie horse.
Well, no, because that'd make you the monster.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the real? Suddenly it would be I Am Legend. Like who is the real monster in this story?
Yeah. Let's see what.
Skate Chongo asks, what is the least helpful 5th skill for survivors? I would have to say that's either excuses or farting around or self-promotion. There's actually, I think there's a version of self-promotion that, like, if you have low enough skill at it, it actually is a negative instead of being a positive. No. Actually, no, wait. We made it a single star skill. That's right. So all of our semi-useful 5th skills, they all have single stars. But that was a change we made right before we shipped. Originally, all of those extra weird 5th skills had a full 7-star progression. And some of them, like self-promotion, if you're bad at it, if you're like new at it, you actually make people angrier at you when you're constantly trying to put yourself forward and be the star of the show. And so if you had 1 or 2 stars, you'd have like negative standing bonus. And then if you had like 3 stars, it'd be even. And then if you get up to 4 to 7 stars, then you'd start having a standing benefit.
That's exactly what I do, though.
Exactly. like it's true to life experience. But
shameless self-promotion is what I'm all about.
And then we had to sort of reduce it down to 1 star. It's like, oh, okay, fine. Well, I guess I won't do anything. Oh, Scarcrew points out sexting. Of course, sexting is another
is that
pretty
one,
useless.
Is that still a skill? I know that was in the first game, but
it was my favorite skill in the first game. It was definitely coming into the second game. It's pretty rare though. I think there's like an online dating trait that gives it. It's the only thing that gives it.
Wow, that was a terrible shot for a shotgun.
Do you have a favorite skill, Rabbitt? Is there a skill that when you see it you get excited?
It would probably be Unbreakable.
Oh, that trait, yeah. Which was that the one that it reduces all your injuries and it also gives you health? Is that what it does? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Wrote so freaking many of these things. There's like 1,300 traits or something in the game now.
Yeah, I think it's anywhere between 40. It reduces injury chance between 40 to 100%, depending on what level you get of it. And it can give anywhere between 10 and 20 health, I believe.
That makes sense. Okay, actually, so Mr. Barbecue actually asks, what do you guys go for when rolling up a new community? I try for Unbreakable, just keeps going, and those are the main ones. Is just keeps going another one that you go for?
I don't think I've ever actually seen it, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the one that, I don't know if that one gives you fatigue or if that one also gives you health.
I know there's another one. Is it Indefatigable?
Indefatigable.
I can never pronounce that. Yeah, that one. So that one's a good one as well.
That name ended up in the game because my mom was such a huge Horatio Hornblower fan, that old BBC show, and that's the name of his ship. It's Indefatigable.
Right. Okay.
And so I had to find out what the word meant, and then put it into the game. So that's a tribute to my mom in the game. Is indefatigable. Indefatigable. So hard to say that. They say it so normally, like it's a normal thing, and throughout that entire show, everyone's like, "Oh yes, get on the indefatigable," and you're like, "What? How did you even?" Like, there have to be so many takes of like Ewan Griffith just like flubbing that word again and again and again.
They
even
definitely
try to say
practice that.
I don't even bother.
Yeah. Later on, he became Mr. Fantastic, and which is much easier to say than Indefatigable. If his name had been Mr. Indefatigable, it would have been the Fantastic Four never would have gotten it. The Indefatigable Four would never have gotten off the ground.
Yeah, it's for sure. Or we all would have been better at saying the word, one way or another.
Let's see here. Oh, people are asking if they've got the Excalibur sword. If they've seen that one, that's another favorite one that's coming up. It's not actually Excalibur. It was what did we call it? It's the one from the fictional comic book inside the game. Oh man.
Is it the Broadwood sword? Are you on about that one?
Yeah. So there's the one that you initially made based on the sword that was sent to us.
Right. Somebody sent us a real sword, and so I put it in the game. But then we made a new skin for it.
Yeah, and we called it.
Was the skull sword?
Yeah, it was like the Gentleman Cadaver sword. We gave it some special name that was not quite Excalibur. It was like inspired by Excalibur.
We'd need Brian.
Ex-Cadaver, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, thank you, Darth Necron. And somebody else. Oh, Undead Brian also pointed out Ex-Cadaver.
Yeah, Brian, I was going to say Brian needs to be in here if we're talking about weapon names.
So I'm not actually pronouncing it correctly because it's actually Schrodinger's word because there's two pronunciations and I actually refuse to commit to either of them. It's either Ex-Cadaver or Ex-Cadaver. And you can pronounce it either way. One of them is emphasizing the Excalibur side. The other one's emphasizing the Cadaver side. And the whole joke of it is that it was written in the comic book and never spoken out loud. And so there's a giant fan war about how you're supposed to pronounce this word. And so you guys can go ahead and decide whether you think Excalibur or Ex-Cadaver is how the name of that sword should be pronounced. I am not committing to any particular one.
Man, I'm a terrible shot.
Nightmaker asks, why do some new recruits walk home to the base rather than hitch a ride? Lost a few medics walking home, getting slaughtered by hordes, ferals, or juggernauts. So that comes from the fact that we've got several different mission designers at the studio, and including me, and each of us does everything in a completely different way. Like if you have a recruit mission where the character says, "Oh yeah, take me home," and you get an objective to take them home, but along the way you can talk to them and tell them to go home by themselves, and they'll go home by themselves. So you have that option. That means I made the mission because that's how I do it. But then we've got other mission designers who just send them home immediately, and we've got other mission designers who say you've got to go, who you have to take them home yourself. And like there's arguments to be made for any of those different approaches, and so it really is just sort of up to whoever made the mission. Maybe you could probably make an argument that perhaps we should have had more standards when it came to decide, just like, the artists all have to, adhere to the same art style, and it's not like we can just kind of go off and do whatever we wanted, but it's a madhouse over in the design department, and we just kind of do whatever we want.
So Rabbitt, how did you get into streaming?
It was actually, I started watching a couple of other people, and I just kind of thought I could do that. So I started. That's pretty much it.
I love how arbitrary that kind of thing can be, right? It's like some of this stuff, it's just so easy to get started, and then the thing that's tough is just doing it well. Whereas like it used to be, before the days of the internet, most entertainment type things that you wanted to do, even getting started was just such a huge, massive barrier. But here, anybody in the chat who doesn't stream, who wants to start streaming, you can find a way to do it usually. And then just the question is, learning from the pros, people like Rabbitt, about how to actually be entertaining and fun.
Well, he's one of the ways I actually learned how to play our game. I watch Rabbitt, and then I copy them.
People who actually play the game out in the world are always going to be better at the game than the developers.
Way better.
Sometimes our test department can stand up to folks. Joe Swarner's pretty good. A bunch of the other guys out there are pretty good. It can be really rough. Oh, hey, it's 12:44. Not 12. It's 2:44. It's 12:44 somewhere. It might be 12:44 in Hawaii, but it's 2:44 here. And we're gonna do a giveaway. So, see this pin? This pin might be yours if you can answer a question correctly. So let's switch over here real quick, and we'll put up a trivia question. A trivia question is: What unusual character appears at the end of Rabbitt's name? I have not included it right here. So there's a missing character right here. And you need to tell me what the character is. You can either give its name or you can just put it out there in the chat. But yeah, we want to see what that character is. If you know what it is, then you can type his name into a Twitch URL, and you can go check out his channel and follow him. So this is a test for you to see if you can go and do what you're supposed to do, which is go and check out Rabbitt's channel.
Well, and then we should, at the end of the show, give out his real link so that, you know.
Yeah, that's actually it. Yeah, that's going to be in our ending. In fact, I'll give you a little preview here. Here's our outro screen. Look at that. It says Rabbitt's URL. So once people have had a chance to put it out there. So Wonder is going to be watching Twitch and Mixer. I'm going to be watching YouTube to see, and we're going to basically randomly choose someone who gave a right answer, and we're going to give them a prize. So,
Rabbitt, you may actually have a, if I'm not mistaken, you have a secret Easter egg in the next release of ours.
Oh, really?
Okay, cool.
I didn't even know about that.
I'm not promising anything because I'm not 100% sure, but if I'm not mistaken, you do.
Hey, pick a number between 1 and 10, Brent.
Okay, sounds good.
6.
Okay, thanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Cool. I'm doing cheap randomization here. You are cheap, Brant. You are
I wanted to clarify.
I could have bought dice, but instead, I could have gone to a free randomization site on the internet. Instead, the cheaper thing.
Let's be honest.
Was to ask you.
I am always the cheapest option for anything. All right. There's no. I want guns.
We're being attacked, and I think we need help.
I mean, I suppose we could go help the remnants.
You've also got a visitor stood at base waiting to talk to you.
It's not my base, though, so I'm not wrecking anything by not going and doing the missions.
Cool.
I take particular joy in wrecking Geoffrey's bases.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it too.
Okay, so I will actually, let's see, the remnants. Oh, good, we're already on the way.
I'm actually on my best behaviour today because we're in someone else's game, or rather in your game. If it was one of my friends, I'd still be messing around like I usually do, setting off firecrackers.
Where's Bossy today? Is she she lurking about?
She was around earlier. I did see her pop up in chat.
I'm trying to put an Easter egg for Bossy in there too.
Nice.
You guys have been so consistent in your support of our company that we'll never be able to repay the exposure you guys have given us. But you know, making ruthless fun of you is the best I can do at this point.
That's quite all right. Being too nice to me kind of makes me nervous anyway, so I'd much rather you take the mic.
Excellent.
So Case has a lot of question for Brant. Wants to know, hey, Brant, the gunman, can you make a spear?
Impossible.
Well, the thing is, Brant could make a spear pretty easily, probably in a day, but then the character to use it would have to have somebody spend weeks and weeks animating spear animations, and so that would be the real expense.
Yeah, that's the problem. I could make a spear in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, you could make a spear that has sort of a gun-like handle at the end that fires bullets.
Maybe.
Yeah, that could probably work.
I love how these guys don't mind that I'm just randomly shooting shotguns into their midst. I didn't see the Pharaoh though.
Okay.
I guess I'll go out and help.
Just checking a couple things here. Making sure I spelled somebody's name right in my notes.
I didn't give up.
Okay, cool. Well, we've got winners. We got winners for our little challenge here. So the question was, what unusual character appears at the end of Rabbitt's name? It is, of course, an underscore. And a lot of you were putting underscores in the chat. Some of you even said the word underscore, which was especially impressive.
Ooh, sports trivia.
And so we've got some winners. So on Mixer, Real Trevstorm is the winner. So Real Trevstorm is going to get one of these. Here it is. One of these pins. And then on Twitch, Jaunty the Fool is going to get one of these pins. And on YouTube, No One Firefox, or Number One Firefox, not sure how to pronounce your name. No One Firefox, you're gonna get this pin. So, what you need to do, because we're short-staffed today, and we don't have somebody who can just try to get all of your contact information right now, what you need to do is go to social@undeadlabs.com, which is an email address. Email that email address, social@undeadlabs.com, and say, hey, I'm this person. I'm Real Trevstorm. I'm No One Firefox. I'm Jaunty the Fool. Please give me my prize. And if you got about anybody who's thinking, oh, I should just fake and pretend I'm one of those people, you're a bad person, and don't do that.
We'll find you.
We will find out. We will be sure that it's you. Don't worry. But anyway, so No One Firefox, Real Trevstorm, and Jaunty the Fool. Go to contact social@undeadlabs.com, and we will get you your pins because you deserve them. Because you guys know how to track down Rabbitt now, so you should go track down Rabbitt and follow his channel. This is here. What else do we got going on here?
So, Rabbitt, how did you find State of Decay?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Number one, I played probably since a few weeks after it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I got that almost straight away. As soon as I saw it had zombies in it and kind of saw, someone else playing it, that was it. And then State of Decay 2, I got the pre-order as soon as it dropped and started playing it that day. I think I must have streamed my longest ever stream, which was about 18 hours solid on the first night.
Okay, that's serious.
That's not safe.
Absolutely loved it.
You were about to be one of those stories about somebody who was found dead in the bathroom after an gaming session.
I think I slept for about 3 days afterwards, but I still streamed.
Wow. While you were asleep, you still streamed?
No. I mean, I streamed, for as long as I possibly could. By the end of it, I was pretty much a zombie myself. I could barely string a sentence together, but I just could not stop playing the game.
That makes us feel really good. Thank you. We hope, if you had gotten hurt, we would feel really bad. But since you survived, you seem fine. That makes us feel really good. All right. Hey, Brant, folks have questions about the durability test gun. What is up with that?
So that was a development tool that we used to allow us to test the durabilities. We could rapidly iterate on how many bullets it felt right to fire before we were punishing you and making you clean your gun again, right?
So we just ran around with one gun and kept changing its stats until we got it right, and then we used what we learned to inform all the rest of the guns?
Instead of testing a shotgun and then deciding it's not right, tweaking it, and then waiting to rebuild, then we were just able to change those things on the fly. And that was another one of those items that the data was in the game, and it was much harder to remove than just turn off. But people, at a couple different points, for some crazy reason, the durability test gun showed up in people's inventories. And
yeah, there were some. I think there were some missions that would try to say, "Oh, grab any gun and give it to the player, or put it in this box," and they didn't realize that any gun also included test guns that were not supposed to be in the game. And so that kind of miscommunication can happen a lot, where it's like people on one part of the team know how something works, and people on the other part of the team think they know how that works, and they use it, and it totally does not work the way they thought that it did, and they put something in the game. But the thing is, the chance of the durability gun showing up was so small that they would never see it in testing. You know, like they would, like the person who was working on it, they could play it a dozen times, never get that gun.
Right.
And even if testers found it, they might be like, wait, where did this gun come from? I don't know which thing gave me this gun. And so they wouldn't be able to, like, say, somehow I got the durability test gun, I don't know how, and we wouldn't be able to fix it in time. So it shipped with that.
Sandbox games like this are so hard to debug when you find like random stuff like that too, because you just can never know the exact set of circumstances that led up to you getting this certain piece of code, right?
Yeah, there's just so many different systems that are all interacting with each other all the time. We've got, I think, one last question for Rabbitt. This is from Blaze Experience. Are you ready for State of Decay 2 to get harder when the difficulty drop comes out?
I am indeed, especially for multiplayer. I think this multiplayer is where State of Decay 2 shines most definitely, because you can get together with a few mates and just have a laugh. But it's also very easy.
Yeah, that's true.
Very easy in multiplayer.
Especially with like 3 other people. It just, like, half the team can just screw around while the other 2 are actually fighting
the real
business.
zombies.
Yeah.
Even with the expanded horde sizes, it's like that's not quite enough to make it a threat. You know, at least when you've got 4 people. There are people out there who are saying like, oh my gosh, the game got so hard now that we got the larger horde sizes. But most of them, I think, are playing solo. Like I think with more people, it just feels slightly appropriate when one of those shows up. Let's see here.
Let's see. Is there anything I can do at the base? I can upgrade storage. No, I can't.
So, Takuro Spirit had a question. He asked, can we get the ability to cancel putting a rucksack into our inventory when it's full? I hate that aspect. I'm guessing that you probably are talking about when you pull a rucksack out of a container, because we can't put things back into containers. And so I guess you'd have to drop it. We'd have to look at that. Like, I think that there were some very good reasons why we made containers one way, why we don't let you just store whatever you want to in containers. And a big part of it is the fact that we don't actually keep track of all of the data of what's in every single container in the world all the time.
Right.
Like, most containers don't contain anything, technically, until you search them. And then after you search them, we randomly generate what's in there according to a set of rules that make sure you eventually get all of the stuff you're supposed to get from the map. And it's an interesting and cool and kind of complicated system to make it work. But the point is, none of that information is real until you search for it, which means that your save file doesn't have to be much larger to contain all of that information.
Yeah. If we kept track of all that stuff, the save files would be massive.
And so we if you open up too many containers and don't take the stuff out, we start culling things that you've left behind. And I think that if you felt like you could just go and fill up every cabinet in the world with anything you wanted to, then you would start to notice things like us deleting stuff to keep the save file small. And it would start feeling kind of onerous and kind of a problem. So that's why we made the containers one direction. So once you pull something out, you can't put it back in. But you can theoretically drop something that you're holding while you're standing in a container, or maybe you can, maybe you can't. If you can't, that's going on my list. And maybe that's a solution that you want, is you pull it out of the container, you can't put it back in the container, but maybe if you can get rid of it really simply right out of your inventory, that might be the solution you want. So I will look into that. It's actually right along the lines of some future patch stuff that we've been looking at. So I'll go and check that out as a possibility and see if that's something we can do. No promises though. Because never any promises, because something can sound really easy to me right now and be completely impossible once a coder talks to me about it. So don't take anything I say here as a promise of something we're definitely going to do.
Oh, there's a feral out here somewhere. Oh, is he in the base yet? Hello, Mr. Johnny Feral.
Glass
Oh,
Babies. Glass Baby says, my guys still move while in crouch. I sent a ticket in about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so in that 3 weeks, we have not issued a patch. And so even though, yes, we did get that message, we have fixed it locally. Like the build of the game that we play here in the office does not have that bug in it. We've fixed it. But you have to wait until a new patch comes out, which means it has to go through certification, has to go through testing, it's got to go through all that stuff. So the next patch that comes out, I think, because I wrote the patch notes, I believe that fix is in the next patch that's going to come out. The thing I can't tell you is when that patch is going to come out, because it's got to jump through a bunch of hoops before it can.
Yep.
But we heard that message, we fixed it, and we just got to go through the process to get it to you. So sorry about the inconvenience. If you're a sneaky player, I know that that's a very annoying problem, and we're eager to get it out there and get it fixed.
All right. Well, that brings,
we're out of time, aren't we?
That brings us to the end of our show.
Yeah, so let's switch over here and say, actually, let's switch over here and point out, look, this is Rabbitt. This is Rabbitt. That's how you spell his name. Most of you know because you won a contest that's how you spell his name. And there's the URL to his Twitch channel. Go check out his Twitch channel because he's an awesome dude and we love him. And we want him to.
Thank you very much.
Want you guys to be able to enjoy him too. And of course, I'm Geoffrey, and that's Brant. And the people who are asking about that's my Twitter handle. If you go there, you can probably find my channel through something I've tweeted. But that's not important. The important thing is Rabbitt, because Rabbitt is a star of this show. And thank you so much for coming on, Rabbitt. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you very much for asking me.
Well, you taught Brant everything he knows about playing this game, and this stream depends on Brant knowing how to play it. So we really do appreciate it.
No, it's Rabbitt's streams are very, very entertaining. They're a lot of fun. He can show you how to optimally kick zombie butt. Again, thank you so much for your support, man. It's without you and your crew and a lot of the people who have supported this game, such as yourself and people like you, streaming this game for a lot longer than most games get streamed. We are eternally in your debt. So thank you.
It helps you've made a good game.
Yeah.
Well, we should leave it on that sentiment. So.
Thanks to everyone on all the services watching today. We love you guys, and stay tuned because we're always trying to make this thing better.
Yeah,
so.
we hope we'll have a lot to talk about in the near future about where the game is going. And next week, I think the plan is to have Daisy Willoughby on here. So it's gonna be State of Decay next week.
It's gonna be
hold on to your characters.
Lots of character deaths.
It's gonna be great.
I should have done more recruiting in prep for that.
Maybe so. Yeah. Well, maybe
We'll
I'll
have to do that offline.
We'll have to do that offline. Anyway, we'll see y'all later. Bye.
All right, guys. Bye, everybody. See you, Rabbitt.
See ya.
And now we're going to sit here for 15 seconds while we put up a bunch of YouTube links and things like that. They can still totally hear us.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, everybody can hear us.
All right, so time to spill all the deep secrets.
Well, I got to cut that part out.